You ever have one of those predator hunting stands where everything happens so fast you can barely keep up with the action? That's exactly what went down on this hunt, and it turned into one of the wildest coyote encounters we've had in a long time. It started calm, just the sound of the call playing and the wind drifting across the hills, when suddenly a coyote appeared out of nowhere. At first it looked like a normal approach, but within seconds everything changed. That coyote came in absolutely flying, running like a rocket straight toward the call at what felt like 40 miles an hour. I remember thinking, this is about to get crazy, and sure enough it did. The adrenaline hit instantly as the shot rang out and the first coyote hit the ground. That moment was intense because none of us expected the stand to explode into action like that. As soon as the first one went down, the energy on the stand completely shifted. Another coyote popped into view and suddenly there were multiple targets moving across the terrain. Cameras were rolling, rifles were steady, and we were trying to keep track of everything happening at once. "Here they come," someone said quietly as we watched more movement coming across the hillside. Trying to keep the camera zoomed in while the coyotes were weaving through rocks and brush made it tough, but we managed to stay on them. One coyote stopped just long enough for the shot and dropped right there. Another one broke into a run across the open ground, and the pressure was on to make a clean shot before it disappeared. At that point the stand had completely turned into controlled chaos. Shots echoed across the valley, coyotes were darting in and out of the terrain, and everyone was trying to stay focused. One coyote was still running and for a moment it looked like it might escape, but then it slowed just enough. The 6.5 Creedmoor barked again and that coyote rolled hard, doing a series of cartwheels before dropping flat in the dirt. When the dust settled and we looked across the field, it hit us: 3 coyotes were down. A triple on a single stand. That's the kind of moment every predator hunter hopes for but rarely sees play out perfectly. Looking back at the setup, everything had come together just right. The outlaw electronic collar had been placed about 40 yards upwind, pulling the coyotes directly into the shooting lanes. The first coyote circled in cautiously, giving us a clean opportunity. Then 2 more came charging in behind it and all heck broke loose. One got stopped and dropped, another tried to escape but didn't make it far, and before we knew it the stand turned into an unforgettable triple-down moment. That's exactly how a perfect coyote stand is supposed to go. Fast action, good teamwork, and clean shots when it matters most. What made it even better was sharing the experience together. She was right there through the whole thing and you could tell the adrenaline was still running through her. Even after the shots were over she was still shaking from the excitement. Predator hunting does that to you sometimes, especially when coyotes come charging in that fast. Your heart is pounding, your focus narrows, and every movement matters. She even said she was nervous one of the coyotes might run right up on us, which honestly isn't impossible when they come in that aggressively. That's why staying calm and steady on the stand is so important. One of the biggest lessons from the day was patience and movement control. When coyotes are coming in, especially multiple animals, the most important thing you can do is sit completely still. Coyotes notice the smallest movements, and if they lock eyes with you it's game over. The trick is watching their head and eyes carefully. If their head turns away you can move slowly, but the moment they look back your direction you have to freeze like a stone. Learning that skill is a huge part of becoming a successful predator hunter, and today was a perfect example of how discipline on the stand pays off. After the triple, the excitement wasn't even over yet. We stayed patient and kept the call running, scanning the area in case another coyote decided to come investigate the commotion. Sometimes when multiple coyotes are in the area, the sounds of distress or the activity can pull in even more predators. Sure enough, before long we spotted another one moving through the terrain. The camera stayed rolling and the rifle stayed ready. The 6.5 Creedmoor proved once again why it's such a favorite for predator hunting, delivering the accuracy and stopping power needed to anchor coyotes even when they're moving quickly. By the end of the day we had called in multiple coyotes and put several of them on the ground, all while capturing the action on film. It was one of those rare hunting days where everything seems to work perfectly. The caller brought them in, the wind held steady, the coyotes committed to the stand, and every shot counted. Watching those coyotes charge in like little missiles across the landscape was something you never forget. Days like that remind you exactly why predator hunting is so addictive. The anticipation, the strategy, and the sudden explosion of action when it all comes together. As the sun started to dip lower and the adrenaline finally settled down, we packed up the gear and looked back on what had just happened. A triple on one stand, more coyotes called in afterward, and an incredible day spent hunting together. It doesn't get much better than that. After hours of intense action, there was only one thing left on our minds: heading back, grabbing some dinner, and reliving every crazy moment from the hunt. Because when you have a day where coyotes are coming in from every direction and the rifles are dropping them clean, those are the stories you'll be talking about for a long time. And honestly, nothing sounds better after a hunt like that than sitting down and celebrating it with a couple of well-earned hamburgers.